Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen podcast type thing where we talk about issues with Star Citizen, things that are happening with Star Citizen, our wants and needs and loves of Star Citizen. I'm here with your lovely hostette, Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hi, Zin.
I want to talk about, well, to start with, XenoThreat 3.0 being over, but I then want to talk a bit about the roadmap stuff and funding with the hover quad, some bits with that, and then what's going to be coming soon in 3.17. But let's start with XenoThreat 3.0. So, XenoThreat 3.0, my favourite event in Star Citizen that I do semi-regularly, I suppose, now is XenoThreat Big Fleet Battle. The server coming together to sort of like gather cargo and resupply a javelin, pew 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 pew, lots of pew pews, lots of fighting, and then a big fleet battle afterwards. And it runs for like a couple of weeks, sometimes a week or two, and then goes away and might come back 6 months later, sort of thing, as part of Star Citizen's dynamic events, as they sort of evolve them and change them. We're going to see more added to things like this, and they are supposed to get better and better. Now, we played XenoThreat 3.0, and there were certainly some improvements, but there were certainly new issues as well. So, obviously, we played this a couple of times ourselves, and then we played with sort of a friend of the channel, Level Cap, who's done a video on some Star Citizen stuff as well, which is good to see some larger content creators have positive experiences with Star Citizen from actually playing rather than just covering it. And I'm not sort of saying that in a way that I want to be demeaning to content creators that cover Star Citizen and are like, it's good, it's bad, or whatever. But if you actually play it and talk about your experiences with it, that's something I'm much more interested in when it's a content creator that doesn't cover it regularly. Is that a fair assertion, Zin?
Yeah. There are a lot of people who just sort of look at it and read what people have to say about it and then make their own opinion. Yeah. And it's always a case of really, you can't have a proper opinion of something until you try it. Yeah, and then, especially with the Star Citizen experience, you're trying it as it is then. It's a live product, but it is very much an alpha product as well, and there's lots of problems with it. And if you come and check the project out every year, you see the huge differences they've made year on year to the gameplay experience and what's going on. So I think the what we played with Level Cap, he's very kind, very nice sort of person, but he seemed to really enjoy himself. There were a load of bugs when we were playing. We couldn't get the mission to work properly with XenoThreat. We then couldn't find the right number of people. So every time we'd go and do XenoThreat, when we did get it working, the first stage of the mission takes quite a while if there's only like 3 or 4 of you to get all the cargo and go. And sort of refill the ship. So we had issues with that. Why do you think we were having low number of player issues? Was that because of the time of the day? Or do you think that this time of the year at the moment, just after we've had sort of like a big push, Christmas, and in January there's loads of events, and we've sort of come into a slower period, do you think that maybe the player base tapers off a bit? I don't know. I think maybe it was more so the time of day, even though we were on European servers, because it was like in the evening, wasn't it? It wasn't too late, but it did seem like a lot of people who were there had already done it previously, and they just didn't really want to do it again.
Yeah. I mean, when we were playing it on the PTU, on the test servers, we found that a lot of people were going to the derelicts more than anything else. So they would sort of busy with derelicts rather than XenoThreat, and XenoThreat was bugged. And there were problems with this live version of XenoThreat where it was bugged. The missions weren't showing up when we first started playing it. So that sort of, I think, got people a bit more disinterested in it. And people had made huge amounts of money from Jumptown.
Also, there was one time we did manage to get the mission, and then we got there and the Rex hadn't spawned, so we couldn't actually gather any of the resources anyway. Yeah,
so there were accessibility problems to XenoThreat this time around. The few times we did sort of get through it and do bits of it, they're fun. They're a bit complicated and confused still, though. So one of the problems I have with XenoThreat and working together with a large group, some of which aren't part of my normal group, would be that, well, people going to XenoThreat, they're going to get cargo. People are on the Rex. Some people are obviously very friendly. Most of them are pretty friendly, but they just shoot each other because you don't have, especially in FPS, you don't have like a reticle to say this person's an enemy or an NPC. Are they going to shoot me first or what's going on? So I walked around a corner and just got obliterated by a dude that was up at the top of a Starfarer, and then Level Cap had to go and murder him, and the Zin's ship got blown up, assumedly by the same people, but they were actually...
I think I was killed by a PvPer.
Okay, yeah. And I think that those people in that area, although they were friendlies, or PvE more people, I think they thought we were PvPers, potentially. So, just a couple of UI tweaks. So some accessibility stuff, fixing some bugs, and some UI tweaks to show if someone's an enemy, an unknown, a friendly, would be really useful. But XenoThreat, enjoyed it. I'm not sure if I enjoyed it as much as I had XenoThreat 2.0, to be honest, just because there were a lot more people playing 2.0. I did like XenoThreat 3.0. I like the continuing improvements, but I think there was some issues here that I felt should have been solved that weren't.
Yeah, I do feel like the earlier iterations were probably more stable than this one. Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's because of changes to the engine and stuff that they're doing, and it just doesn't sort of work as it did. I don't know. It did seem more buggy, like when it was on the PTU as well. Like the javelin just wasn't spawning at all. Like you could do the missions, but there was just no javelin at all.
It was kind of an important part of XenoThreat to have that javelin there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they got that solved for XenoThreat 4.0. So we do know that there is a Star Citizen Free Fly on the 17th of February that starts for at least a week. And we do know that they're bringing back Jumptown at some point in February, so you can look forward to that. So I want to talk a little bit about updates to Roadmap Gate. It's not really I mean, there's some mixed opinion about the roadmap changes because we haven't really seen them form yet. So there was a lot of people talking about boycotting CIG financially on the forums. I say a lot, some vocal people, and they were like, let's not give Star Citizen money until they sort of solve the problems that we have with the roadmap. Now, I would say that we haven't seen CIG's solution after they say, look, we're going to depreciate the roadmap, so it's just one major sort of release view at a time. And then we're still going to have the progress tracker, which is going to track it like at least a year beyond that. Now, if they have a nice fleshed out progress tracker, and they can start to be a bit more accurate with their next quarter's plans for the next major patch, cool. I mean, I don't see a huge issue with this as long as the progress tracker has a lot more information on it, more context. Cool. I can track stuff. I can see stuff a bit more accurately. Star Citizen, don't be obscure. Don't obscure stuff to me. Give me all the development information that you can. That's what I'm after. That's what I want, and I'm willing to allow CIG the time to develop their game. But I'm wanting them to make sure that they give us the information that sort of I want. So, what's your feeling on this so far, Sin?
I mean, I like the roadmap. I like seeing the roadmap. I think it's also because of the pictures as well. I don't know, but it sort of gives you've got the picture, you've got like what it is and a brief little description, and it's nice.
Would you like it more in like a pop-up book format? So they send you...
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, so you want them to keep it as it is, basically, without...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I do think that maybe they shouldn't put stuff on there that they don't have a degree of confidence that it'll appear.
Well, that's what they were supposed to have done previously. But the stuff, big things constantly still get moved off. And they seem to get moved off last minute when they clearly know they're not going to get into those patches.
Yeah, like maybe like talk about it a month before. Or I mean, I know it's obviously a quarter's only 3 months, but just talk about it and like maybe remove it sooner rather than later. If
they're going to do a progress tracker as the main thing for our sort of development updates when it comes to the roadmap, I do want them to be as accurate as possible. When stuff changes, they need to tell us, and they need to give us full context of what these individual features mean. Because I'm very similar to you. I would prefer them to keep the roadmap as it is now, try and make it a bit more accurate, try and give us a bit more information on it, and just suck it up if they get criticised for failing to hit certain things, but then explain why. Gives us a bit of accountability towards what they're doing. Going, look, why is this moved? Why has this been pushed off? Why has this been pushed off again? I'm not sort of saying. And CIG just need to understand that they're going to get criticised for that. I think that's fine. However, the hoverquad's been released, and Star Citizen's funding's just still exploding. There's loads of funding. It's getting lots of money. And even if it wasn't getting loads of money, I've also realised that as long as they hype Fleet Week, sort of at the end of May, CitizenCon in October, and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, well, that's over half or sort of around half the money they generate in a year right there, like 30 to 40 plus million that they get from those events. Star Citizen is a funding behemoth. It's not even NFT based. So do you think that people voting with their wallet is a good idea? Do you think it's something that they should just talk about in a civil way?
I mean, people can do what they want.
Yeah.
Obviously, within the law, people can do what they want. I think people going, I'm not going to spend any more money on Star Citizen is a perfectly valid thing to do. I think if you think that this company's not performing as you want it to, sure, don't spend any more money on it. That's exactly the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
Why would you keep giving them money if you don't agree with them, if you don't believe in them? That's just stupid.
So Montoya was saying this, and I was sort of talking about it on Twitter about this as well. So I have the thing where I think as you can get everything in game, I don't want to spend much more money on Star Citizen, but I occasionally do. So I love Star Citizen. I genuinely believe they're making a great game. I do think they occasionally have problems with communication. They're going to occasionally. It's a double-edged sword the way they do their development. But sometimes I'm not going to buy any more ships. But then I see like the Hover Quad, fantastic lifetime insurance token. They've also sent me a voucher for $5 off it. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy at least one. And then I'm going to go, well, you know what? I'm going to want more ships in the future. I'm going to buy more of these Hover Quads and then upgrade them later. That's like multiple sales that CIG have got from me because I'm weak.
Yeah, but that's your choice to make.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
You're not going, I'm going to boycott them without spending any money.
Well... So, there's a difference between a stand saying this is what I'm going to do and a boycott. I don't think a boycott's organisable at the moment,
No.
nor is necessary. But we need to see what CIG are going to do and that sort of stuff. If they don't give us any information at all on any of their products and games and then stop developing them, and then we can go, you know what, let's organise something. I think a lot more people would be agree with you. But at the moment, CIG have gone, look, we want to do this. People have gone, I'm not... Some people at least have gone, we're not so happy with that. Let's see what CIG's response to that is. But they still are able to bring in a huge amount of money. And what I am saying is that I would prefer people share what they'd like for direction and suggestions for development and what they want from development, what they expect from development, what they like, what they don't like, all that sort of jazz in civil points on Spectrum and on Reddit. And on the comments of my videos. Bam, do that now. Bam. Be kind to each other because you might have very different opinions and it's all good. Me and Zin have very different opinions all the time. But that works because we're willing to discuss them. One other thing, I suppose, is that people have been messaging me about buyback and CCU chip upgrade stuff. So I'm not sure if you're aware, Zin, of how much ship prices have changed since the origin of the project, sort of going on concept sale to sort of now when new ships are released now, they've gone up huge.
I know ships go up generally from concept, like once they get released, they will generally jump in price.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before, and my opinion of it was, well, technically there is inflation.
Yeah, that's true.
So expect the ship to have gone up in price since concept to release. But anyway, carry on.
But we're talking about things like the Banu Merchantman, for example, originally sort of like a, $250 ship, I think it originally was. And maybe at the end of its cycle, when it's actually released, it might be $1,000. So there are things called, well, there's the grey market where people can buy ships and services for CIG, for Star Citizen, and it's not supported by CIG, but it's not sort of fully against terms of service, but basically CIG can't help you if you have a problem. Do at your own risk, fully read up on that if you ever do anything like that. But there are CCUs, ship upgrades, so if someone buys a upgrade from an Aurora to the Banu Merchantman now or something like that, obviously they apply that in the future when the ship's $1,000, well, they've got this CCU, which is worth a huge amount of money, and that's people sell that on the grey market, things like that. But there's also ways of CCU jumping, so basically you buy an upgrade for a ship, like the Valkyrie to the Banu Merchantman now. Banu Merchantman goes up in price. You then upgrade your Valkyrie to the Banu Merchantman or whatever, and then you can sort of skip to more expensive ships because then you can upgrade your $800 Banu Merchantman to a $900 ship by spending an extra $100, if you see what I mean. But you only spent $250 on it earlier. And you can maths it. You can maths it to getting more expensive ships very cheaply if you buy at the right times. So people were talking about, have you done videos on this? Are CIG going to close this loop out? I was like, well, maybe they won't. It's just early adoption, isn't it?
It seems like a good investment.
Well, investment's sort of the wrong thing. A fun investment. Don't take financial advice from us. We're not financial advisors, nor are we condoning or denying the grey market. Zin.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to in 3.17?
The coffee shop vendor?
Oh my God. That coffee shop vendor, as it says in my notes, better be life-changing. When they announced that roadmap stuff, they went coffee shop vendor, bam. That's what's going to be in 3.17 now. So I do want, I'm not even joking, I want better AI, more interactive NPCs. I want these zones. I want the bartender to be a proper bartender walking around actually serving people. I want there to be waiters. I want there to be chefs. I want there to be food vendors. I want the world to be alive. I want to walk in to like one of these disused space stations, go, this is Cyberpunk. This is Blade Runner, something like that sort of feeling, and everything to look great. And it's not just the NPCs and AI sort of code and updates that they need, like refined animations and a huge amount of Star Citizens. Other bits need to come together with sort of networking and server problems need to be solved and all this sort of jazz. So yes, actually, coffee shop vendor, great.
I mean, it is kind of the only thing on the list at the moment.
No,
that I'm looking forward to.
Okay, that's not true that it's the only thing on the list, but yeah, maybe that you're looking forward to. So so selling, being able to actually sell loot that we've got from other people's bodies, that we found in loot boxes, lots more things to sell. That is a big deal. That is reasons to explore areas. That is reasons to actually fully loot people, assault their ships, that sort of stuff. And is sort of coming, it's paving the way a bit for the new cargo refactor that's hopefully still going to be in 3.18. That will be fun because that will involve us going around looting more and going, I'm going to be another 10 minutes, I'm looting all these bodies. And maybe even having some ways of moving stuff back and forth. One day we'll be able to use the trolley to actually move stuff back and forth like that. Hopefully a hover trolley rather than the wheeled ones because they implode. So there's that, and I think that's actually pretty big and important. The other sort of major feature here is refueling. Ship-to-ship refueling, actually having the Starfarer have functional use, be able to carry fuel, hydrogen and quantum, and then be able to sell it to players. Implies to me that there's going to be fuel changes that mean I can actually run out of hydrogen fuel.
I mean, you can run out of hydrogen fuel, but currently you have an awful lot of fuel.
Yeah. So it's going to happen much more regularly, and it won't regenerate very well. So I am actually quite looking forward to that, because I do think that our dream of being able to do medical rescue gameplay may be compounded with the need for refueling. I'm hoping that we can do a lovely little service where we just turn up, look after all these people, get them back into the verse. Oh, it's okay. We'll give you some healing. You want some weapons? We stole a load of people's weapons. We've got some weapons for you. And now we can refuel your ship. And eventually, maybe we'll get like a power washer. Give the ship a clean. That'd be perfect. But yeah, refueling with the Starfarer, super important because they sort of need that for pyro and stuff to come in as well, because they need the ability for ships to be able to be refueled. So expect some tweaks to the fueling system. So those two are actually pretty major features. We've also got the Scorpius and the Hull A. The Hull A representing having a solution that's actually tangible in-game for the morphing physics grids, which means that we will have the Hull C soon after, probably. But yeah, for me, it's selling and refueling. They're core to 3.17. Was persistent hangers as well, but obviously they got pushed off at the moment, and we could see some other 3.17 features. Is there anything else that you'd like to see in 3.17, even if it's an event, even if it's accessibility to something, even if it's a fix for something that is broken?
Don't know. I don't think so. I was going to say maybe Jumptown, but Jumptown may be coming this week, so...
Yeah, so as far as we're aware, Jumptown is being tweaked a little bit and put back in at some point in February. And 3.17 we should start to see on the PTU servers on the Evocati sort of testing early to mid-March, and then the sort of rough aim for a live or open PTU release at the end of March for 3.17. And we could see more features. We could see new things in here as well that are not yet on the roadmap. We'll see so a couple of roadmap updates, 2 or 3, before 3.17 actually gets locked in fully. And I'm hoping that they make it a good patch and they get a load of features out here, because having a bad patch, having a slow patch, and then also having bugs with it, that wouldn't be great at the moment, especially sort of people are raring to go after quite a lot of events after 3.16. Let's see if they can maintain sort of, not inertia, what am I thinking of? Momentum.
Same thing, almost.
Same thing, almost. Please don't correct us in the comments. That'll be hellish to read. But yeah, so February, all right so far. There's been, obviously, roadmap gate, a little bit upsetting, but we'll see what CIG's response to that. I'm willing to give them some leeway, because I do genuinely believe in the project. And we've got Quarter More, we've had the Red Festival. I think some of these things are just ended now as well. But Star Citizen's funding seems to be going parabolic still. And just interested in what people think. What have you thought about February so far? Did you play in XenoThreat 3.0? You're going to get some friends to play in the free fly. Do you get excited by free flies at all, Zin?
Well, I do get excited, but then I just forget about the whole thing because I'm useless.
What do you mean?
Just like being able to see like new people come in. And just be
yeah.
like, oh, look at all this and stuff.
Yeah. I think that was one of the joys of showing the stuff to like Level Cap. Was like, he was showing me that when we showed him around the Mercury Star Runner, he was like, oh, wow, oh, whoa, oh, what's this?
Yeah, I like to see people's reactions to, I mean, even if it's just people who pop in every free fly and don't even have a proper account, but they still follow the game, they'll still be able to see how it has progressed.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the sort of reactions and opinions of people that have only done free flies. So they come back in this free fly, they play a bit, what's their experience and what do they think, how Star Citizen's changed, how has it changed? What's it like? Like, is it good? Is it really slow? Is it actually fantastic progress they've made compared to your sort of previous free fly experience?
I'd definitely be interested, like, if you've got any viewers who do that, if they could give us like an update at the next free fly and how they thought the thing went.
Yeah, and honest opinions are fine. Like, if you hated it, you couldn't get on, you're like, no, I don't know what the hell's going on. If you're like, oh, this is amazing. If you're like, oh, it's not, I would get my friends into it, but not yet. I mean, whatever your opinions with the free fly are, love to hear you. Love to hear your stories and your opinions on that. But boom, that's pretty much it today. Just a quick little podcast-ette. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you've got any suggestions for topics that you'd like me and Zin to discuss that aren't just immediately proximate to us in the news, then please check them in the comments below. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care. Enjoy the free fly and the rest of February. And hopefully 3.17 is going to be a great patch. See you later.
Mummy, my friend told me at school today that Star Citizen was a scam. Oh, Tim, is that why you got into a fight? Yes, Mummy. The only scam is people stealing all your internet infos and blocking your ability to watch things on Netflix and such with regional-based access. That's why we use our words, Tim. You should have told those bullies to get NordVPN, and also that Star Citizen is the best damn space sim ever.
Yes, these two people are right. Get NordVPN, and also Star Citizen's great. Also, Timmy was a 35-year-old teacher at the school. And it wasn't even a school, it was a pub, and he was a barman. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for February 2022, it's for an Aegis Saber, the high-tech medium fighter with loads of firepower, but it comes in an auspicious red paint scheme as part of the Red Festival, as well as lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during the month. You can further support the channel by clicking the join button underneath any of my videos. You can also donate or become a Patreon. Your feedback, though, from comments really helps the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, if you're looking for a diegetic little controlly boy that makes your Star Citizen experience and potentially some other games pretty good fun on your touchscreen devices, then check out Game Glass. You've got that, you've got NordVPN links, you've got loads of other stuff. All in the links below. Click them all. Click them all. Maybe not all of them. That would be madness.